unlocking your unlimited potential is the ability to pivot on demand to continue moving forward. Every step in the right direction is a step, no matter if it's a baby step or not. Keep moving forward.
But most of us will go through life never tapping into those gifts and talents that lie dormant within. So helping that youngster to find what's there, as opposed to envying and being jealous of all the other people who have accomplished their own goals. You've got your own stuff within you. You just got to tap into it.
Consistent creation comes confidence and competence. We think we know our students' potential. We don't. We think we know our own potential. We don't. We only reach our limits when we stop trying. So keep trying.
Allowing others to see in them what you see in them. Helping them to see in them what you see, and to, helping them believe in the greatness that they are, that you see and experience every day.
Giving somebody a chance and being there to support them through it.
It means your potential is unlimited. Focus on that. It is an infinite process. It's an infinite progress. You're constantly taking steps to improve. Don't ever chase got it. Don't ever chase that moment. Don't ever chase it, whatever that is, unless it is constant progress. So focus on the unlimited portion of this. That you don't chase somebody else. Don't chase an arbitrary moment in time, a momentary accomplishment, a certificate, a label, a title. Just keep getting better every day.
If we're doing that work, or somebody else is doing that work on us, and at this point, I think the children does that work on each one of the staff and each one of the people that get involved in Casa Hogar. They get unlocked their potential by the children. So once you get involved with children, working with children is not what you do with them, is how the children impact in your life to unlock that unlimited potential that you have, and then they're going to see the benefit from it.
Unlocking unlimited potential means empowering others to take the risks they need to become exactly who they can be.
Help that kid find what they're truly passionate about, and what keeps them up at night working, and what wakes them up early, and what gives them that sense of wow. And I want them to find what they're good at, to really identify their strengths. That's the thing, because of school and because of the model that we use for school, where we're really focused a lot on weaknesses and trying to level up those weaknesses. For me, brother, I just want that kid to identify what they're passionate about and what their strength is. And then getting clear about how we can help that kid use that potential and use that strength to go out into the world and make a difference in the lives of other people.
There it is, right there. Welcome to the Unlocking Unlimited Potential Stories show. So excited to be here today. This guy sitting next to me is pretty awesome. I am so excited to be able to track him down and have him join me in my virtual stage. Dr. Shaun Woodly, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing very well. Good, Dr. Beck. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join your platform. Very excited to be here. I told you just, before we got started, I can do this all day. I'm ready for it.
It's a house of doctors. That
Yes.
is it's a house of doctors. Great line right there. So listen, there has been some great stuff you have had going on recently, and you've just been really doing amazing stuff. And I was telling you before a little bit on the pre-show, just been so awesome to watch you for the past 2 years, as I've discovered you over the past 2 years. And I know you've been around a lot longer than that. And we were talking a little bit about that, but talk a little bit about yourself, the cocktail story version. But most importantly, let me just say, first of all, teach, hustle, inspire. You are the CEO. That is a proud title that I'm sure you own and enjoy. Also, author of 2 books. I believe I have 2 here, and they are MC means move the class, The Speaker Side Hustle, 5 Secrets to Becoming a Successful and Profitable Speaker or Consultant while still working as a full-time educator. I mean, that's a mouthful of a title, but that is pretty much what everybody says, right? That is the ultimate goal right there for many people who want to move beyond the classroom someday or beyond the schools into a different layer. But wow, I'm going to stop, gloating about you and let you just take it from there.
No problem, man. Thank you for the, I don't even know what to say after that. Basically, my name again, Dr. Shaun Woodly. I'm the CEO and founder of the educator movement, Teach, Hustle, Inspire. Proud CEO and founder. The teach means to unlock intellectual treasure. Unlock unlimited intellectual treasure. I'll amend it for this conversation. You see what I did there? And the hustle means that we can't stop and we won't stop learning. The inspire is about spreading love and light. I've amended the textbook definition of each of those words because what I found in this profession, each and every day, we are on a mission in this calling to unlock the intellectual treasure, not of just our students, but truth be told, ourselves. Getting ourselves from where we are to where we need to be, getting those students from where we are to where we need to be. And there are different aspects of our lives where we need to move from where we are to where we need to be. That, I think, is the foundation of potential. How do we get from where we are to where we need to be? It's about asking those questions and about not just getting the answers, because sometimes when you're given the answer, we don't appreciate it. But how do we discover the answer for ourselves? That, I think, is a critical part of the unlimited potential aspect of it. 15-year educator, taught at the K-12 level, university level, now full-time entrepreneur, speaker, author, and newly coach. I work with a lot of educators that are trying to get into the entrepreneurship speaker space, and it's just been a really rewarding journey that I didn't set out to kind of get started in. I just kind of fell into this space, and I am absolutely loving it. It's really something that I enjoy, just helping educators kind of unfold in their entrepreneurship journey and what they can do, not just inside of the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. Many of the schools that I work with, just on the speaking and authorship side of it, I serve a lot of schools that are in traditionally underserved and undervalued and underloved communities, urban and culturally diverse communities mostly. And then, so with that, I'm helping them make instruction more culturally responsive. How do we get our students from where we are to where they need to be? But on the other side of that, what I've come to understand is that there are a lot of speakers, there are a lot of potential speakers, there are a lot of educators who have desires outside of the classroom as well. And it's about unlocking their unlimited potential and what it is that they can do to get from where they are to where they need to be.
The journey toward unlocking unlimited potential begins with you. I think that resonates for you. As my dog, who she's unlocking unlimited potential right now in her ability to bark. I do have to give her a lot of credit, though. She goes to school every day, so she comes home and breaks a rule or two, but she's a good addition. But you talk a little bit about this idea of unlocking unlimited potential, and for you in general, and just the whole idea: teach, hustle, inspire, keep growing, keep learning, keep doing. Never stop, won't stop, whatever it takes. That the foundation of that is you. And I think that is such a valid statement. I think that really is the reason as well why you've moved into this game of coaching now, because you've created systems and you've put systems in place that are enjoyable, that are, easy to organize, that are things that you're able to do quickly and set up in a way that, it does require a lot of hustle, but since you've done it now for a while, you've learned a lot of things along the way to help you feel confident enough to make the leap, right? Because that's always a big thing for people and that you're dealing with in your space. I deal with a lot in my space and my coaching as well is, hey, how do I make that leap from being in this place where I have a pretty secure definition of what my future looks like, but now if I go this other route, I'm really leaving some possibilities out there that could be really, really difficult. And, one thing we talk about a lot is the hustle, the hard work, but, talk about the other side of that. How do you battle the adversity and those lingering negativities and those thoughts and those self-limiting beliefs that come with all of that?
Sure. One of the things, and I like the way that you phrase that about the limiting beliefs, is recognizing that they're there. Many of us, we, depending on how we were brought into this world and the conditions upon which we grew, we don't even realize how those things influence us. I was telling my coaching group just the other day, we were having a discussion about some of the stigma that comes along with money and the quest for having more and this idea of abundance. We're familiar with the concept of abundance, but there's this tacit shame that goes along with it, for lack of a better phrase. Like there's this almost this kind of, because you want more, there's this air of greed, money is the root of all evil type mentality that goes along with it. So here, if you grew up as somebody like I did, where money, the idea of limitations in money is all around you. Can we get this? We don't have the money for it. Can I go there? We don't have the money for it. I've had several conversations with my mom growing up. She did, my mom and my dad did the best that they could, but there were some Christmases where they had to sit my family down and say, look, this Christmas might look a little bit different. We may not have as much as we have before because things are different for us financially. Like, these are real conversations that we had to have. And somehow, some way, they did the best that they could and managed to make it special for us in every way that they can. But that conversation was still there nonetheless. That conversation was something that we grew up with. That conversation was something that became a part of my thought process about what it is and what money is supposed to be and how much of it is available. And so now, coupled with the fact that I go into the classroom as an educator, here I am to teach. Here I am having a valuable contribution to society and this earth, but I don't get compensated for this. So it's further reinforced. So I'm having to work on myself to, in order to grow professionally. I have to grow personally. I'm journaling, I'm reading, I'm having conversations with other entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, so that I can get myself in a different room and therefore have different conversations and change the narrative. That has been one thing that has been very, very helpful for me. And recognizing when those limiting beliefs show themselves, recognizing that they're there and countering those thoughts with other things that I've learned along this way, because I'm still dealing with it, truth be told. But I recognize that it is there, and I have certain scripts that I try to play out in real time to counter those thoughts until I fully replace them.
I had to get out my notebook to write some things down. Some great stuff, man. Yeah, absolutely. You know how important it is to just go through the experiences that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
That's and thinking about how grateful you are for how far you've come. And one thing is, you know, it seems that you have a lot of gratitude in your journey and in your path, and the power of your story matters. And just another example of another person who has came on this show who has used their story for power. And, you know, you talk about now you've created these other kind of lanes in which ways people can lead to the work that you're doing, because now your work has grown wings, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you just had, you have to give me the name of the last thing, but it was, can you give me
Build
the last?
on the side.
Yeah, Build on the Side Hustle,
Yes.
right? And it's a paid conference, and it's a,
Mm-hmm.
and you ran this conference. So talk a little bit about it. I was following it, and it looked awesome. I didn't get a chance to attend, but I am hoping to definitely be there soon. And I loved just seeing all the pieces, and even your branding, your build up, the behind the scenes stuff it's quality. I think that's also something you point on a little bit. You got to give credit to someone behind the scenes on that, I think.
Sure. I'm always there. There are several layers to this. So, with originally my journey into entrepreneurship was speaking and consulting in the education space. Again, mostly with urban and culturally diverse schools. Having a lot of success in that space, and really just using marketing tactics, sharing strategies on social media, growing an audience. People see that. They see you achieving certain things, and they know that they have similar aspirations. So I get asked, hey, how do I do that? How did you do this? How can I do this as well? I know that I want to speak about this. I know that I want to have consulting workshops about that. What can I do? So I'd had the idea some time ago and just could never, with being on the road a lot, still teaching full time, just could never put everything in alignment to the quality that I wanted to. I could have done it, but it wouldn't have. I have a high standard, and there's no way that I could have let some foolishness just to put it out there. So I put it on the back burner. But in the last 6-8 months or so, with a lot of my speaking engagements being virtual, and then also with me being a full-time entrepreneurship, some time opened up for me to dedicate to that. And so with the relationships that I've developed with other successful educator entrepreneurs, we had 15 total speakers for the event. And we had sessions on branding. We had sessions on booking speaking engagements. We had sessions on getting speaking engagements booked again. Once you get booked, how do you get booked again? And just topics on developing content for social media, topics on developing content to sell with websites like Teachers Pay Teachers. Just we had a spectrum of things, education, entrepreneurship wise. And I branded it under this guise of build on the side, because that, truth be told, as you mentioned, that was my story. I built my organization on the side, literally while still working full time. I've heard so many successes of educators working full time and developing either speaking businesses, developing content. There was one of the speakers there, her name is Naomi O'Brien, and she was talking about how in her first year of content development using Teachers Pay Teachers, she made $20,000 first year. There were other speakers talking about how when they got into this idea and finally just had the ability, and not the ability, the confidence to step out using their ability, how they are able to leverage, $1,000, $1,500 on the low end per speaking engagement. Like, what could that do? An extra $1,000 per month, an extra $1,000, heck, every other month. What could something like that do for you in addition to your current salary? Just having those types of conversations. And so I put a lot of things in place with email sequences. I had a coach, a partner of mine, a good friend named Erin Cotman, who also has a successful consulting and speaking business. She and I co-hosted the event so that we can kind of present it in a very conversational manner. Like I hired a college friend of mine as a videographer and a producer. So, I tried to make this really something that it's not just like, here are these videos. No, like, this is going to be an all-out production. There are round tables where we're having discussions between sessions. We're in the chat live, like, we're having feedback, and then just all sorts of follow-up after that. There was a masterclass that I did, a 90-minute masterclass for anyone specifically that wanted to become a speaker. So I tried to offer as much value in that event as I could. And when I tell you, Brandon, after that event, like, I was seeing double because I was so tired. Like, it was a lot of work over those 2 days. It was months that led up to those 2 days, but I was exhausted, but I wouldn't change it, man. I wouldn't.
No, it goes back to what you were saying before. When you've seen the story and you've lived in a lot of different environments and in a lot of different places, and where you're definitely not going, and where you're going toward, and you're going towards forward. And you hit a point in the journey, you hit a point in the career where you start, as you brand yourself, you brand what you believe in about the game, what you believe in about the hustle, what you believe in about the teaching, the learning, all of that. And you start to build this following. And I think that's crucial. I think also, one thing I think a lot of people believe is that someone builds a following overnight, and that I think a lot of people think that is longevity or possible. And I think, in order to build that following, you have to be able to give back because what's your purpose for people following you anywhere if you're not going
Right.
to give them something to follow
Correct.
that's meaningful and related to you, and then they can make the decision if they don't like it. And because if you're being your truest sense of yourself, your essential being, who you are. But to find that in an education journey is difficult because you can be confined at times within the limitations of, you know, the system of how it works, pensions, you know, guidelines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, I think it's just really awesome to be able to get to that point where you're sharing work that's meaningful and sharing work that you believe in. And, you know, as you go out there, I notice now, tell us a little bit about the book club, the book study. I want to hear more about that because I'm interested, because I've seen the list. I've seen the picture of the books. Atomic Habits is one of my favorite books. It's literally my Bible. So I'm in.
You know, with this journey of entrepreneurship, it's what's the best way to say, there are so many different layers to it. There are so many different things to understand about entrepreneurship. And one of the things that I was telling um, the group, the book study the other day when we met on last Wednesday, is for many of us that are trying to grow as entrepreneurs, we have our expertise. We know the message that we want to get out there. Where we lack ability, however, is education and entrepreneurship are two entirely different worlds. They're not even, matter of fact, there might be two different entire universes. And so just using free resource, I'm trying to use this as a way to, like, there's no charge to be a part of the book club. I have a Facebook group where we meet and discuss, and every other Wednesday we meet to discuss, again, with the idea of build on the side. It's just a couple of chapters every couple of weeks, and we have an engaging, thought-provoking discussion on what we've read and how it applies to you building your business while working full-time as an educator. So we jumped right into Atomic Habits. I actually have my copy right here. And just the first couple of chapters alone, there were like these, you know, when you read a good book and you come across something that it's like, wow, like boom. And
you're like, why didn't I know that?
Exactly. Or you have something where what I like about reading and just learning new information, or it affirms some things, like some things where you knew it, but this just validates it for you, or it's something that is in your head in fragments and pieces, and it's like, boom, this put it together for me. It's usually one of those three experiences for me. And so that just happened time and time again with reading this and in our discussion. And we meet every other Wednesday, the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, 7 o'clock. That's when we meet. And it's really something that, again, I do for free. I enjoy the experience because I like facilitating these types of discussions. I told you before we hopped on live, I can do this all day because I see the value in it. I'm passionate about it, and I genuinely do enjoy it.
Absolutely. No, and if anybody doesn't follow you, they can follow you, and it's all, proof is in the posts, proof is in the media, proof is in the content. I can see it, my man. I can see it all over you. And if you're watching this video, you can see it all over his face. So teachhustleinspire.com. That's where anybody can go to sign up for the book study. Book study, what did you call it?
It's an entrepreneur's book club.
Book club. I'm always wondering, study, club, words. We're talking words again. Here we go. Words matter. All right.
At the end
Anyways,
of the day,
listen, so you know, it's interesting. Usually I reach out to my guests before and I ask them about, you know, if they could dedicate the episode to someone, and usually we kind of like mutually agree on it, or we kind of go back and forth. But since the show was about the hustle and you mentioned dedicating the show to your wife, I was not going to argue that, because you can't have a hustle without your teammate, right? So shout her out, brother. Do it. Get your Valentine's Day one day later. Here it is.
I definitely have to shout out my wife because, you know, she is an integral part of my growth as a person, which fuels my growth as an entrepreneur. She's also, and the reason why I particularly chose her beyond that was because she's also the chief marketing officer of a startup tech company. So she is on her own journey and entrepreneurship, unlocking her unlimited potential as well. So I thought that that was appropriate for that response.
Absolutely. What's her name? You got to give her her name.
Oh, my wife's name is Shaun Woodly. That is my wife, and that is
Shout
who I am
out,
shouting out.
Shaun Woodley. Congratulations. The woman behind the mirror. I love it. I love it. No, it's awesome. And you know, if you're gonna shout out your wife, I gotta just drop mine there because that would just be weird. But yes, when you talk about having someone you have to think about, in my situation, it's my wife. It is my my partner in crime, because
Yes.
with all this moving around, there's also children at home. You also have 2 kids, right? You said before their ages are
6 and 3.
young children. So
Yep.
there's a lot of moving parts between moving them kids from point A to point B and everywhere they need to go, and then we needing to be where we are. And then we need everybody to be quiet in the house because we're going to do a whole 8-hour
Yes.
event in our basement. You know, I love those.
Exactly.
Someone's got to be upstairs holding everybody down. So you got to shout out to all of the significant others and teammates of those who are out there hustling every day. You know, we've been talking a lot about it on this show, and I think we've said it a million times, and I think it's just a perfect way to recap the show is unlocking unlimited potential means. What's it mean to you?
Unlocking unlimited potential means understanding that literally, if you want it, it's out there for you. It's limitless. Literally, it says it in the title. And I think one of the misconceptions about unlocking unlimited potential is that people confuse their current ability with their future potential. And if you measure your future potential by what you currently can do, then you will be limited. But if you understand that you can use your current abilities to grow and unlock new abilities, that's when you realize you're unstoppable.
Unstoppable. You are absolutely unstoppable. Get out of your own way, you know, countering that negativity with that experience, building this on the side hustle while working full time. It's an awesome achievement. Know that you're continuing to keep going. That's got to be something you're pretty proud of. And, you know, looking back on the past couple of years, I'm sure you're very grateful for, you know, hopefully, obviously, with us moving forward in the pandemic, looking like things are turning around, you know, it seems to be that more people are opening up and getting out there. And so hoping to cross paths with you soon, and hoping to cross paths with some the people that are listening can cross paths with you as well, because the work you're doing is awesome and I highly support it. And I think it's just great work for our schools. And, you know, we talk a lot about this shift in education. If I were to give you one last thing, like, what's the shift in education for you now that we are kind of who we can become, kind of thing?
My shift in education would be hopefully the realization that education has been needing some input. Maybe this is an opportunity to highlight some of the things that maybe some of us in this education space have already realized, but maybe some of those that make the decisions about education that have never been in education may not have realized. So hopefully this is an opportunity to correct some of the things that were broken about it, and to continue to make sure that all of our students are served to unlock their unlimited potential, all meaning all.
I kind of threw a very big question at you at the end there. Sorry about that, but that was just I've been thinking about it a lot lately, because that's
Sure.
my one word 22 is
Yeah.
shift. And
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've been thinking about how we're going to be really, you know, the future can be bright or it can be what we make of it. So we have to make bright out of the situation. It's kind of my
Yeah.
thing. So no, I appreciate your perspective, and shout out to everybody out there today. If you haven't signed up, the Something for You newsletter from Unlocking Unlimited Potential and myself comes out the 1st and 15th of every month. You sign up on brandonbeckedu.com. Dr. Shaun Woodly, where can everybody find you? I know I had your website up before, but what are
Sure.
your socials and everything?
Absolutely. Pretty much everywhere. Teach Hustle Inspire. TeachHustleInspire.com, on Instagram at Teach Hustle Inspire. Twitter is just my first and last name, Shaun Woodly. Teach Hustle Inspire is too long.
There it is, right there. Teach, hustle, inspire. Well, I'm hoping you're going to continue to do this awesome stuff because I love seeing it, and I can't wait to see what else you got coming next. Do you have anything up your sleeve?
We're working on a couple of things right now. I'm keeping it close to the chest, but
All right.
working on a couple of things. And this spring, some new things are coming. At the latest thing is the podcast. There's Build on the Side podcast, another avenue for some free resources, conversations around building on the side while still working full time as an educator.
That is a hot topic from what I've seen since the beginning of the pandemic. So that is something people need to find you, get out there, find Dr. Shaun Woodly, Dr. Shaun Woodly, teach, hustle, inspire. It is a mouthful of awesomeness. Check him out. The journey toward unlocking unlimited potential begins with you, everybody. Do not forget to educate with passion this week. And as you continue to go forward, enjoy the winter wherever you are. And the sun is going to be brightly shining soon upon all of us. God bless everyone. Take care. And I hope to continue to be a part of your journey. Thanks so much, my man. I take care of you. All right.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beck. I appreciate you, sir.